your eyes. You're on a mission, burning ambition. You've got your eyes on the prize. You've gotta rise to the challenge. Show 'em what you got. Step up and take what's yours. You are kings now, clash of titans.
One. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Tornado Tag Podcast, episode 85, creeping up on that 100. We're doing something the COVID version of it, the car ride home episode. So this is something me and Brian have done in the past, where we go to independent wrestling shows, we watch them, and then on the way home we throw some microphones on, and the drive home we talk about the show that we just seen. It was very, very popular. A lot of people enjoyed it. Obviously, we can't do that now due to COVID. So we found a new way to doing it, and the best way to do it is supporting independent wrestling television. So IWTV. It's a great subscription.
IndependentWrestling.tv.
Sorry, thank you. I always fuck that up.
Well, it's IWTV, but yeah, the actual URL is IndependentWrestling.tv.
Yes, all the links are below, so you guys can check those out. The links for IWTV are on there. The links for High Tension Wrestling are on there, as well as all of our stuff as well. So if you want to follow us, we are on all forms of social media. Not so great with Twitter. We're getting there. Instagram, Facebook, obviously, if you're watching this on Facebook, or the replay on YouTube. We are trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. So if you can help us out and hit that link and head over to YouTube and just give us a sub, and if you want to hit the bell, I don't care. It's up to you. But yeah, so this is what we do now is we go on Independent Wrestling TV or IWTV, and we watch a match, and then we try to do a review show on it afterwards. We did the first Camp LEAPFROG, and overall we both really, really enjoyed it. We had Alex and the Maestro on, and we talked about the show. This week we're gonna do just us. I'm sure those guys will watch. They're big supporters of us. We love those guys to death. But we are watching now. We're reviewing Camp LEAPFROG Part 2, which is things that go bump in the ring. Correct?
Yes, things that go bump in the ring.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, let's get right into it. Brian, give us the rundown here.
And the other thing you can see, if you go to Independent Wrestling TV's Facebook page, they did a Facebook Live before the show. There was the open swim, kind of like a pre-show, behind-the-scenes show. There was a tag match there. Poor Ryan Nova took the fall, got defeated by Still Life with apricots and pears, and had to wear a chicken suit. So if you see a guy in a chicken suit roaming around, I think he was in the Battle Royal later in the show. He had to wear that because of this match here. It reminded me of the Impact used to do that. When Impact would be on Thursdays on Spike TV, obviously Thursday is Thanksgiving, so every year on Thanksgiving they would have a tournament where they do this a lot in Mexico, where it's a losers tournament where you advance the tournament by losing. And they'll do it in Mexico where at the very end the big loser has to like unmask or get their head shaved or something. And in Impact it was always wearing a turkey suit because it was Thanksgiving, so you'd have to wear the turkey suit, and it was the same thing here. But that was on the open swim. Then we had Camp LEAPFROG proper, and we started around the campfire. If you remember from the first Camp LEAPFROG, Killian McMurphy, he was attacked by violence, and they had a wild brawl all around the camp. This time, it's always funny with these because we know some of these people, and we've kind of interviewed them or kind of just chat with them as shows and things like that. And we talked with Killian. We talked with Killian earlier this year, and I think January's the PPW Resolution show. He was in their Resolution Rumble. And you would think nice guy, salt of the earth. He was very nice with us. And now he's opening portals to hell. What has 2020 done? This guy's opening portals to hell now.
Yeah, he and this is not a knock, and I'm sure a lot of the people who are in the wrestling scene would agree with me. I mean, obviously, besides our boy Andy Header, he's probably my favorite one. Like, if he's on a local card somewhere, I try to make it a point to go see it. I'm a big Killian fan.
He's excellent. Yeah, he's excellent. And
he's a great,
and that Rumble, they were 1 and 2, and they were both there near the end too.
Yeah, he's a great heel. He's so good on the mic. He's good in the ring. I mean, if anyone's gonna open a portal to hell, it's gonna be Killian.
Just wish he would stop opening portals to hell. That's the problem. Other than that, he's an asset to any company he works for. But you just gotta don't let him near the Ouija board.
Yeah.
And so the smartest person in Camp Leapfrog was probably the undefeated lunch lady Rhonda. She just gets the hell out of there.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah, she's done. And then and then we have a host here. Hollow Wicket is the host of this. He's live from Sleepy Hollow, Chikara veteran. And I love this. It was a nice little touch because it reminds me of the old horror shows. You know, like every back in the day, you would always have like at late night they would play like these B horror movies, and you would have your horror host. And Elvira is the most famous one. There was one up in New York, Zachary the Cool Ghoul, and in Philly it was Stella. I think it was called Saturday Night Dead, and she was the host there. And so Hollow Wicket is playing that role here, and he just kind of throws it to our first kind of segment here, and Oreo Speedwagging, Joshua Wells, Wavra
That's a
here
great
in
tag name, by the way.
Xavier Faraday. Oreo Speedwagon's a great name, yeah. And they're trick or treating. They're dressed as Sailor Moon characters. I'm not too familiar with Sailor Moon, but I could tell that.
I know that. I
And
know what Sailor Moon is. I've never watched an episode.
there used to always be commercials for the toys in the 90s. That's the extent
Yeah.
of my knowledge of Sailor Moon. That and that it's in a Bare Naked Ladies song. But they go trick or treating, and Devontae's is there. They go to Devontae's house. Jack Jagori is with him, and there's no candy. So one of my favorite lines on the entire show: "You don't have Halloween candy? This can only be settled with a wrestling match."
Once again, Devontae's great talent. Really big fan of him. Last Camp Leapfrog definitely put me onto him. He was one that when I talked to Johnny Moran, he said, "You're gonna love that dude. He's also a fellow. It is feathers involved. He is a fellow Washington football team fan. So always going to be a huge fan of Devontae's."
Well, this is like Armistice Day for Eagles and Washington fans, because the Washington took care of the Cowboys last week, and hopefully the Eagles do it today. But yeah, he is very impressive. Even if he doesn't give out candy, even if he's turning away trick or treaters, very impressive in the ring. I don't think he's been doing it long, but he has I think when we had Alex and Anderson Scott on there for the first Camp Leapfrog, they were saying he's pretty new, Chikara guy. Chikara's, things have happened there, but you really can't question or just the amount of talent they pump out.
Yeah,
the amount of just talent. One of the most popular acts of the year is a Chikara vet, Orange Cassidy, and
we have
so many people come through there.
Andy's a Chikara trainee.
Yeah. Andy traded Chikara, a guy who's going to be factoring very much into this Camp Leapfrog here. Deshaun Pratt, he is a Chikara
alum. He broke the internet.
Yeah. Well, and everybody thinks that was a Chikara show. It wasn't. It was a CZW show.
But it was a Chikara character.
Oh, yeah. Amasis and Ophidian, the Osirian Portal. Yeah, they were a very hot tag team. Then, unfortunately, Deshaun had some injuries. He had a very bad car accident. And that's a guy. Deshaun will be a big part of the show later, but that's a guy where just the resilience. If you ever feel down and out, just take a look at that guy's story. And he's had 2 really bad injuries, and he's still around. And I know that him and Matt Turner really want to have a like an All Japan beat the hell out of each other match. They're waiting for that.
God, that'd be amazing.
But anyway,
Deshaun, real quick,
go ahead, sorry.
Deshaun Pratt, still the golden briefcase holder at PPW Championship Wrestling, which is still in limbo. But so if you are a fan,
in my opinion, the uncrowned PPW champion, because he has that briefcase, there's no champion.
That is very true.
So I would say I cash it in right now. Vacant, no champion, I win by forfeit.
Wow. Deshaun, I don't know if you're hearing this, but that's a great idea. I like you just cash it in because you can't lose. So he can technically be the PPW champion because, man, hopefully PPW's listening. They can definitely take that off us if they want.
And every time we bring him out, I would say for me he is, even if he's not the champion, he is the ace of PPW. He is your Tanahashi. He is the guy.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely agree. Good guy, great guy. New T-shirt out too.
Excellent.
If you go to ProWrestlingTees.com, Deshaun has a brand new T-shirt out, so go check that out. Help that guy out as much as you possibly can.
But the opener here is the Trick or Treat Smell My Feet match. Devontae's and Jet Jagori taking on Oreo Speedwagon. Very nice double teams here. Very, very nice double teams here. The Oreo Speedwagon's a regular team. Devontae's is just that, he's that foundation you can do things off of just because he's so solidly built. And even if he is very new, he's very crisp. Everything he does looks
Very
good.
strong, too. Strong dude.
Oh, yeah. hmm And the story here is speed and teamwork against power. So the Oreo Speedwagon guys are sticking and moving. They're doing great double teams. Xavier Faraday, he takes a bump off of it looked scary, but obviously he finished the match and everything. Where I think he was on Devontae's shoulders and they just spiked him down. But they get the comeback. Faraday hits a Falcon Arrow. The heels get a double DVD and a neck breaker there, but one of the Jet Jagori gets caught in the electric chair, and the electric chair into a cutter. Joshua Wells hits the Swanton, and it's 1-2-3. But it's not the feet of Oreo Speedwagon. They have to smell. It's a guy called Meanie.
Oh yeah.
It's Kilowatt.
Yeah, the Kilowatt.
With his green hair.
The Kilowatt Meanie comes out, and you got to smell his feet.
And they mention here that he's also part of the lunchroom.
Yeah, the lunch
so
staff.
there's some serious nepotism going on in that Camp Leapfrog in that lunchroom.
Yeah, it's like
you
they all
gotta know
each other.
people.
Yeah, you gotta.
It's a family operation.
We applied, we just couldn't get in. It's a family operation, family owned since a couple months ago.
So from here, Sam Laterna arrives. She was the reporter at Camp Leapfrog before, but now she's just here for fun. She liked it so much she had to come back. She sees that the camp director, the camp director Brad, he had a little bit of a run in. Brad Rush had a run in with Killian.
Alex is in the chat, so maybe he can fill us in with some behind the scenes stuff here. But we already got our first one. He said there was a bit of a blunder. He bought the wrong color blue for his hair.
Well, I think what happened was he had blue hair color and yellow hair color. He just put them in at the same time.
Well, his hair is
that
blonde.
Might have been a problem.
His hair is blonde at the moment, and I guess the blue counteracted with his blonde hair, and it was the wrong shade, and it gave him the green hair. Yeah.
So we have a tape that's being passed around that allegedly has an older wrestler, the death of an old wrestler, and it's a cursed tape from way back in the day, hundreds of years ago, when there were apparently VHS tapes, and people are passing it around here. Brad Rush is running with Killian McMurphy, spills his drink, and then we go to Leapfrog, what I called Leapfrog TSA, Mr. Zero and the security ants. And they're just taking daggers and swords and shovels and nunchucks and everything through, and that's fine. You're clear with that, but you're not allowed in if you're Johnny Moran or the evil villainous. His name's escaping me. Wild.
Yeah. I forgot his name too. I was gonna bail you out, and it just slipped me.
I remember his last name's Wild. I forget. His first name was escaping me here.
Yeah.
But. The man from the Performance Center, the man from Florida.
He tried to buy Camp Leapfrog last time. And,
yes.
Yeah.
So then we have a few other things here. This was more of a. We had a lot more of skits here, and there were a lot of them kind of in a row here. You had the gross food bowls with the dead insects and the ghost poop.
Have you ever went to a house for trick-or-treating and people have done that, where you have to put your hand in a box? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like worms, but it's spaghetti, and they're eyeballs, but it's grapes. Yeah. I had a neighbor that would go all out for Halloween, all out, where at one point I guess they got partnered with a local funeral home, and they even had a casket, and like somebody would sit up out of the casket like the Undertaker. They have somebody hide behind the door and grab your foot when you came in. They would go all out. Deshaun Pratt was just getting some reading in, but he was getting his fortune told. There's a lot of travel in this future, a lot of gold. So he's very happy about this.
PBW might be it.
Yeah, maybe a lot of travel. Hopefully he's going to be he's going to be able to travel soon. Things are going to be opening up a little bit, but the fortune teller also tells of a mysterious portal.
Uh-oh.
And Deshaun and portals have a history.
They do.
And so he doesn't want to hear this, and he's getting out of there. Ethan Wilde, Johnny Moran and Ethan Wilde are not invited to Camp Leapfrog for the Halloween festivities. And then we just get a nice little kind of a physical comedy here thing where everybody's passing around this cursed tape. nobody wants it. It's like hot potato, and it's circling around everybody. Can't believe Frog. And then some other familiar faces here. Main event.
Love those
Having
guys.
everybody jump through the hoop,
Yeah.
the flaming hoop. Very, very hot.
Very
Very
hot.
hot flaming hoop. And the only people who won't jump through it were the runway.
Yeah.
They just stepped through it.
Yeah.
And so
one guy got caught on fire because he didn't step through it right. He was on fire.
Yeah, well, then got to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
Look, not everybody can be Jay Lion. Jay
Yeah.
Lion has that down pat, but not everybody can have his acrobatic skill.
I'll tell you what, it was once again another thing that like Camp LEAPFROG that was awesome for us is obviously we know a lot of these guys and we see them a lot of these talents around the guys and girls around different shows, and it's always fun now that like obviously COVID's a thing and we can't physically see everybody and go to shows to see the Morans and the and the Killians and the main events, and they're all still having really a good time at Camp LEAPFROG and just having a good time filming it, all just kind of hanging out. It just looks like a great place to be.
If you look in the credits, even some people that weren't featured in matches or sketches or anything like that, but Charles Mason was there.
Yeah.
Another guy from PPW regular, the $1 billion Playboy, and Philly Mike Swanson was there too.
Oh wow, I didn't see that one.
It was in the credits. They were just there was like additional campers at the very end of the credits.
Yeah.
And so then we have one of the standout characters from episode 1 of Camp LEAPFROG, Abs. He's getting bullied by Blank. Blank is just not treating Abs right at all, and Sam Laterna's having nothing of it. So this winds up being a pumpkin patch death match where Abs challenges Blank. And just to give you the background, this is a Chikara thing. Blank is another Chikara guy. He was Race Jackson, and he was part of a tag team, but they split up. And the big match, it was a mask match. And I'm sorry, I heard myself in my ear a little bit. Threw me off there.
Skype is giving us a little bit of issues right now. It's nothing on your end. I think it's a Skype thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they had a mask match in Chikara, and he lost the match and had to put a mask on.
Yes.
So he's Blank, and that's because he paints the canvas. Every match is a masterpiece, and he has a cool mask with like a zipper where he just unzips it to talk. And so this is a pumpkin patch death match. It's Abs against Blank. Abs is accompanied by Sam Laterna. They're doing a very Macho Man Elizabeth thing here that I liked a lot.
Yeah, I love that too.
And they had a pumpkin-based brawling. It was certainly a pumpkin patch death match. Pumpkin guts are being thrown at people. There was a skeleton finger that was used as a weapon. You can't hurt Abs' abs, which is obviously, it's like trying to headbutt a Samoan back in the day. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't work. There was a spot in this match where someone takes a gourd off the head. Was it this one?
Yeah. And then Blank was throwing pumpkins and gourds out into the crowd.
Oh my God! Someone, I don't know if it was this one or if when did they do it in the street fight, like the last fight. But I forget. Someone takes a gourd, like he pitches it like a fastball and hits him directly in the forehead. And I'm like, that had to have sucked.
Oh yeah, no fun there. I believe it was this match. I think Abs threw it at Blank, if I'm not mistaken.
That had to have hurt so bad.
my favorite thing here, and this is a total Chikara callback. We have the instead of thumbtacks, it's candy corn.
Yes.
They sprinkle candy corn.
Where do you lie on the candy corn train? Are you a fan of it? Will you eat it?
I'll eat it. It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it like some people have this like crazy hate for candy corn.
Yeah.
It's
one
like
of those things where I eat it and then like I have a handful and then I have to have more. It's one of those things. Like it's like crack. I'm more of a fan of the pumpkins. I like the pumpkins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because I don't really have a strong opinion on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Where most people with candy corn's like metal, like heavy metal music. It's either you just don't like it or it's your favorite thing.
Yeah.
But I'm the same thing. Like I like metal, but there's other things I like more.
Yeah.
But yeah, candy corn's the same thing for me. But this is very much a callback because in Chikara there was always a tag team, Los Ice Creams. It was El Hijo del Ice Cream and Ice Cream Jr. And they would do a very similar thing where they would put what we would call in Philly jimmies, or sprinkles for most of the rest of the world. They would put the jimmies all over the mat, and then if you got like choke slammed or slammed or powerbombed on it, it was like landing in thumbtacks.
Yeah.
And they do the same thing here. Abs goes for the big splash, but he wipes out and he lands in the candy corn. And then for the finish, there's a color wheel on a pumpkin, and Blank gets the win here, which I think that was a very, very nice touch. One of the things we talked about when we had Alex and the Maestro on last time was how on Camp Leapfrog all the matches the baby faces went over, and Alex was like, "Yeah, I wasn't sure about that," and I think it was very fitting here that Abs is the guy that is the first baby face to lose because he's very much the moral heart of the looking at it from a storyline perspective. He's like the heart and soul of
Yep.
the whole piece, especially in the first one, and he's the guy that he's the most sympathetic character. So him being the first babyface to lose is something that gives that extra oomph. It gives it like a little bit of the gravitas.
Like there's a
And
change in the air.
yeah,
Ha ha
and there
ha.
certainly
Dum
is.
dum dum.
And then the spoiler comes in and he gives Abs a participation trophy, and he gives it to him right upside the head.
Yep.
So poor Abs.
Poor Abs.
And so then we have I'm sure the Maestro is behind this. We have the Monster match.
Oh,
It's
this was
a very fun parody of the Monster Mash.
so good. It was such a good song. So
It was
funny.
great. It was great. And so, and this is where all the monsters are starting to. There's people coming out from under the ring, and there's a wolf person, and it's very, very, very fun song. But it's also, there's some serious monsters headed to Camp Leapfrog. The portal to hell is open, and there's some bad things coming through. But that's not all that's happening here. That's not all that's happening, because Sam Laterna's with Deshaun Pratt, and all of a sudden Deshaun starts acting a little weird. He starts acting a little bit off, and he's apparently possessed, and he does a very thrilling dance number.
Yeah, very thrilling.
He does. Him and a few other campers are doing a little dance there, and then he channels Cyrus from the Warriors. Can you dig it? I feel like I've heard that before in wrestling. No sucker here though.
Yeah, no sucker.
But yeah, very much channeling Cyrus from the Warriors. And then we go to Pancakes, who is out in the woods, and he's getting bullied and about to be egged by Salt the Earth, Travis Huckabee and Matt Mikowski. But they're saved by the tag team of Ron Voyage and Trajan Horn. I don't remember what they were called this time. Last time they were Team Kimono One Alea. I forget what they were called here. But it leads to a tag team match, but we can't just have a tag team match. This is Camp Leapfrog, so it's a tag scream match.
Mm-hmm.
And so most of this match is Trajan basically being Ricky Morton. He's going to be the babyface getting beat up here. Matt Mikowski's working the arm, and we were talking a little bit before we went live here about who stands out to you. Who do you think was amazing? Who was like your MVP of the show? Every time I see Matt Mikowski, he impresses me more and more, and part of it is that's the kind of wrestling style I enjoy.
Yeah.
I love the mat-based, submission-based, grappling. And he's an MMA fighter. He's a Bellator guy. He's been in professional fights, so he obviously can wrestle that style. He's been great in Bloodsport. He actually had a fight with Simon Grimm at Bloodsport a couple weeks back.
I did not see that yet. How was it?
Very good, very good. I enjoyed that match a lot. And Mikowski had also, that was his second time in Bloodsport. He'd also beaten his first time he won. It was in 2019. He beat Rory Gulak, Drew Gulak's younger brother. And so every time I see that guy, just very impressive. He's just, I think that he's going places.
Yeah,
his look is getting better. Everything's just so crisp, and
yeah, when I took
can't
a
say enough
break,
good things about him.
when I took a break from pro wrestling for a little bit, and I just fell in love with mixed martial arts, because you can't love both. I was an idiot, I was also in high school at the time, but it was now that I'm like back like loving wrestling and watching it again, it is really cool to see when like you have those people who know jujitsu and judo and they actually have striking abilities because they come from a mixed martial arts background, and they can make it look so much more believable in the transition. Like some submissions in wrestling are a little sketchy. Like there's no way I'm gonna let you do that to me, but like they can find a way to make it look legit with the leg locks and stuff
absolutely.
like that. Like yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, and a lot of wrestlers have even kind of done it the opposite way, where they, back in the day, I remember he brought this up when we had Matt Turner on before, and he was saying how Punk would talk about this, but Ricky Steamboat would watch boxers, and he would watch boxing matches just so he knew how to sell punches and make it look like he was really getting punched.
Yeah.
And
I still
Daniel
think
Bryan.
I still think one of the best sells in a long time was when Cesaro, another Chikara guy, took the black mass from Aleister Black,
Oh yeah, and
and
just crumpled.
he sold it like he was legit knocked out.
Hmm.
If you would have shown me that or if you would have shown that to a mixed martial arts fan, they'd have been like, "Yo, he legit knocked him out cold." Like it looked
Yeah,
that real.
and Cesar, he had some training in Switzerland, but he's another guy that came through that Chikara system.
Yeah.
He did train a bit in Switzerland, but he got his finishing school, we'll say, in that Chikara system.
Yeah.
So
Real
again,
quick,
just
if you are
top
watching this
notch.
live right now or you're watching it on the replay, if you could do us a favor and hit that share button, the best way we can grow this is by word of mouth. So obviously, if you guys share this out to your pro wrestling fans, that would help us out tremendously. Also, if you are watching this and you are a pro wrestler or you are anything to do with the business, podcast, anything, please go and follow us our community page on Facebook. It's Tornado Tag Community Page. That is open to anyone. So if you want to plug your podcast, if you want to plug your merch pages, if you have an event coming up, if you're doing something where you're raising money for somebody or you're trying to do like a charity thing, anything, or you just want to talk wrestling with us, go over and join us on the Tornado Tag community page. That is not, I mean, it's branded with Tornado Tag, but it's very much for everybody. So if you have a YouTube channel you want to promote your wrestling on and you just get your name out there, please use that. Please use our platform to help do that, and then we can grow this and make another wrestling community that people can go to and check out awesome new content. So, little plug in there real quick, or on the go commercial, I guess you can say.
That live read.
Yeah,
It's
our
a
live
live
read.
read.
Yeah, Howard Stern. Hey now. All right, go ahead.
So the finish here. Speaking of good looking kicks, Black Mass is one of my favorite finishes just because it looks so good every time.
Yeah.
Matt Mikowski hits an excellent looking kick here on Ron Voyage, and then a rolling arm breaker for the submission win. So again, the heels go over here, and Salt the Earth gets the win. They try to egg Ron Voyage, but Pancake stops him. He's going to stand up for the people that stood up for him, and Salt the Earth does wind up getting egged themselves.
Mm-hmm. Not like
So
having on your face.
one thing we didn't mention through a lot of these sketches where they're in like the garage area of Camp Leapfrog and it's like a little bit of a Halloween party. People are breakdancing and things like that. There's a guy who's in like almost like a dinosaur mask or a monster mask. Actually, there was like a monster and alien or something. It almost reminded me. I'm going to show my dorky side here of the Tonberry from Final Fantasy, the little like lizard guy who carries a
You're talking
lantern
about
and he's
the
like a
frog?
secret boss. And he's wearing like this big like almost like a robe too. So you can't see anything from this guy.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
he's covered head to toe.
he was a frog.
Oh, a frog. Okay.
Yeah, he was a frog.
All right.
Yeah. Can't believe frog.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't put that together, but okay. I'm a moron. So we cut to something a little bit later on. It's getting very dark here, mainly because of the whole portal to hell thing. That's a big problem. So
The portal
it's
got
pitch black tonight.
Yeah, the portal got so big that it was daylight, but the portal then made it dark appearing. Yeah, it appeared it was very dark.
But Violence, who was a standout on the first Camp Leapfrog, he had a wild falls count anywhere brawl with Killian McMurphy. He's up against a mystery opponent, and it's this frog, and the frog lifts up his cloak, his robe, whatever it may be, and you see a title belt around his waist. It's the IWTV Championship. This is one of the things I love about IWTV again, Independent Wrestling.tv. It's very much like the NWA where they have a traveling champion. Look at who's spoiling the surprise here. And there's that title right there. It's like the old NWA title. It's defended in many different companies. And the man under the mask is Warhorse, the IWTV champion, the reigning defending in this match IWTV champion.
Quick thank you to, let me just make sure we don't ruin the other surprise here. Flip those over. Thank you to Alex and the Camp Leapfrog team for sending us 2 autographs, one for each of us, Brian here, of Warhorse. We got our own little Warhorse high tension IWTV.
Oh, don't show the other one. There you go.
Yeah,
okay.
I hit it. But we got Warhorse autographs. So thank you, man.
Very
that was
cool.
really cool. He didn't send these until the day of the show, so we didn't nothing was spoiled for us, so we didn't know anything going into it. But man, that's really cool. Yeah. I'm a fan of Warhorse, man. I thought he had a great match on AEW against Cody.
Yeah.
He's really entertaining, man. I like him a lot. And he's going to be in the brand new Retromania video game coming out soon.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so excited for that game. I cannot wait. I've wasted many a quarter on not even WrestleFest. WrestleFest was a little bit later. The original Superstars game that came before it, where you had to be in a tag team and you didn't really get to choose your partner.
Yeah.
And I would always try to pick the Ultimate Warrior, and then like please be, or no, I'd always pick Savage and like please be the Mega Powers, please be the Mega Powers. But it'd be like Savage and the Honky Tonk Man. Like what the hell's this?
Yeah. I was really looking forward to this. Is another segue here. But this is what we do here on the podcast. We just go into these weird rants. But I was really looking forward to Battlegrounds. I just thought that was going to be a
Mhm.
lot different than what it was. I thought it was going to be like No Mercy meets. I thought it was going to be a recreation of All Stars, and it really
Yeah.
wasn't. It was the further you got, the AI just got stupid, smart, and it just like they reverse everything, and it just got really stupid. But I'm really
I
looking
mean,
forward to Retromania. I think that's gonna be great. That's gonna be a great Switch game for me. I think I'm gonna buy that on the Switch.
yeah, that's gonna be so much fun. And the other thing, I'm looking forward to the AEW game. Kenny Omega's such a serious hardcore gamer that I think he's gonna move heaven and earth to make sure that's right. And the big thing is always, are they gonna use the Aki engine? Are they gonna use the Aki engine? Because that No Mercy engine, everybody loves it, and apparently the company just the money they want to charge for it is so astronomical that nobody uses it for wrestling games. Oh, and Alex is chiming in the chat. That was a frog mask. Maestro found it at Target the week before the show, and it was apparently obviously a frog, and I'm dumb. I
Yeah.
think that's what we're getting at here.
So the only thing, I don't know if it's because it's an enamel pin and they take a little longer to make, but I did order the championship pin for I like to put the titles on my
Mhm.
on my hat. I got my Camp Leapfrog shirt. I got my IWTV hat. I just never got my pin. I don't know. I have to look and see if it's just kind of held up or anything. But I was hoping to get the. I think they changed the title too. I think it's a different looking belt now.
Yeah, it's a nice looking belt too.
Yeah.
It's a very cool belt. That one looks almost more like the one in the autograph there almost looks like a. It reminds me very much of like a WCW title, like the WCW tag titles or
I think it looks like it's a
um,
mix between WCW and it looks like if you just took the eagle off of the World Championship like of
yeah,
WWE. Yeah.
or the Ron Simmons Vader WCW title.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway, the match here is Warhorse and Violence, and just from a bell to bell perspective, this was probably I think my favorite match of the show as far as just a wrestling match
Yeah.
without the Camp Leapfrog hijinks.
Violence to me, match wise, stole the show. Both camps. I think the first one with him and Killian was fantastic. I did have one. I don't want to say critique because it's not like a bad thing, but I thought it was a little too dark. That was hard to see at some points, and one of my things I thought audio wise, sometimes the audio jumped around a little bit.
Mhm.
This show commentary audio was smooth the entire way through. It wasn't like one match it was high, then the next one was low, and then it was
Right.
like everything was leveled perfectly. Audio commentary was perfect, absolutely perfect. And the outdoor match you're having here, when the portal took over and it was dark, was lit beautifully. You didn't miss a beat when it came to
Yeah.
what was going on. The camera work was unbelievable. This was a great match. In my opinion,
That was a problem with, not to cut you off, but that was a problem with the match that Violence had with Killian. It was fun, but it was kind of hard to see. Here,
Yeah.
lit beautifully, even though I suspect there were some technical things here. We don't have Alex or Maestro on. I know Alex is in the chat, but you could tell like the ring looked wet a couple times. It seems like weather was something they had to fight with, and the wrestlers did a great job because it's got to be scary to try to wrestle in a wet ring, and there wasn't a lot of people falling and slipping. So
Yeah.
so good on them.
Yeah, so this match was a standout for me. This was unbelievable. It's one of those things where if you have two really good guys, they can do anything, and they got over a prop skeleton. Like
Yeah.
I forget his name. Was it Boner?
Boner.
Boner. Yeah, they got over Boner. And this is maybe just selfish on my part, but I would love, like, I just think they would be a really cool styles clash to wrestle. I'd love to see Warhorse versus Header.
Yeah.
I think because they're both like heavy metal fans and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and they're very
They're-
like gimmicky, funny, and they like I think they're very similar style, to be honest.
Yeah, they're both a little more like with the over the top mannerisms and things like that. Yeah, that would be That'll be an interesting one.
Warhorse and Header should be a tag team. I mean, I love blue and gold, but I like they're like the same person. Like Warhorse rocks ass. Like that's yeah.
Maybe Andy can paint his face. It could be Warhead. It could be
Warhead,
Warhorse and
yeah,
Warhead.
Warhorse and Warhead. Warhorse is a when we were doing the podcast, I did have I was drinking and it wasn't by choice. I just did it and I didn't realize that we were doing a little bit of Camp Leapfrog. So we went live on our show after the Camp Leapfrog aired, and I was drinking out of a Warhorse brewery, which is a brewery up out of New York, glass. So I kind of gave a little teaser to who may have been at Camp Leapfrog without saying anything.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Alex kind of acknowledged in the chat here that Pumpkin Guts may have been to blame for some of the slippage in the ring.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But
So,
yeah, a little fun to call here. They had the CZW grave, and they said, "Wow, that one's really dead."
oh, gee. Yeah, one of my favorite spots here is Violence has a really nice looking submission in, and Warhorse gets a shard of a table and just starts jabbing him with the table shard to get out of it.
Oh. This had the crazy. Was it this one? No. It wasn't this match. Never mind. It was. I think when someone took the power bomb over the hay bale. That was later.
Yeah, I believe that was later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
never mind.
and then here we have Warhorse getting the win with a jumping pile driver, and then Boner chimes in with an elbow drop, and that's enough to
He
put
gave him
Violence down
a
for the 1, 2, 3.
tombstone pile driver because he did it on the tombstones.
Yeah. Just an old school jumping pile driver too. I mean, obviously because it's a move that a lot of places don't want you to do because there a lot of people have gotten hurt by it. Like WWE, there's like a no pile driver thing.
Yeah.
But that jumping pile driver is always like it just looks so good. And I mean, if you go like back in the day, it was always he's an awful person, but Bob Sweetan always had a great pile driver. But yeah, that one was really nice looking on the tombstones too. But then Boner gets the elbow drop too.
Alex says, "I want to see Warhorse and the Dark Horse, which would be Johnny Moran, team up, and they would be called the Stable.
Yeah.
And then they
There you
take on
go.
Blue and Gold, so I can see Header and Warhorse square off. I think that'd be fun to watch."
And then Andy turns, and that's when he becomes Warhead.
Yeah. And then we can get that blood sport match between
Deshaun and Matt Turner.
Matt
Yeah.
Turner, yeah. I almost said his name. I was almost fucked up there. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, Andy says his name all the time.
Yeah.
So after this, we do have the invasion. Killian has opened the portal to hell, and camp is being invaded by ghouls. People are getting turned into zombies. It's a bad time. But they have the idea. Brad Rush and Sam have the idea to burn the Ouija board, and that closes the portal to hell. But we still have all these demons and monsters around, so it's not all done yet.
This is when someone gets turned into a zombie, right?
I believe that actually happened in the match we're going to be getting to next.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the portal's closed, but we're not quite out of the woods yet because there's still all these monsters around. But hey, there's no reason to worry here. Just have a costume contest. And so all these people come out in their costumes, and the runway are the judges, and so everybody's getting judged here, and the runway declare themselves the winner, of course.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm glad to see them back. That's a fun team. They are.
I agree.
They're and maybe because of that thing earlier, maybe we get runway and main event at some point.
That'd be funny if main event won. Like, we're not in costume.
Yeah, it's weird because there's all these monsters. There's also a lion running around.
Yeah.
So maybe the lion can eat some of the monsters.
Yeah.
But this costume contest very quickly becomes a battle royal, and that's where the Cajun Crawdad does become a zombie.
Oh, poor guy.
He does become a zombie here. He gets
So he's
zombified.
officially dead.
Well, no, he's a zombie here. He's undead.
Yeah.
And he's undead at this point. Main event get a big spot here in the battle royal. Hermit Crab comes in with swords. Everyone kind of just bails out. A lot of people eliminate themselves because there's a guy with a sword in the ring now. And then we get a big revival of Amasis. He hasn't been seen in a long time, but something's wrong with Deshaun Pratt here, and Amasis is back. And he's not alone. He's running Calix the Castigator, big guy. He was one of the monsters that emerged. Just a really, really big dude. When I first saw him, I was like, "Is that Crossbones? Did they get Crossbones back?" But no, it's Calix the Castigator, and he just comes in and he is just cleaning house here. Ryan Nova in the chicken suit comes in, he gets thrown out. Cajun Crawdad is still a zombie, and then unfortunately he does get killed. His old friend Hermit Crab had to shoot him with an arrow. And
Heidi just came in. So if you see her walking, I think I had a you know when you're fat, right? Like me. And
yeah, I know.
I had a dream. In my dream, I was eating KFC, and I woke up hungry for KFC. So my amazing wife drove to KFC and got us chicken. So
Oh.
yeah, fat, chubby people problems. When you have dreams of food and you're like, now I'm hungry for that food.
And so, yeah, R.I.P. Cajun Crawdad. Wayne and Garth come in,
Yeah.
straight from Aurora, Illinois. Ethan Wilde and Johnny Moran, of course. They're not worthy, and they know it. But they did manage to sneak into Camp Leapfrog amid the monsters and everything. But things aren't over yet because Amasis is summoning more monsters, and just they overrun everybody. The monsters are kind of taking control here, and it looks bad. It looks like this might be the end of Camp Leapfrog. But not
Oops, Skype's messing up a little bit. Did I lose you, Brian?
yet. Comes in.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it caught up. It kind of
Okay.
lagged for a second.
So we have a crew of some of the women of Camp Leapfrog, along with the Crusher, and we get some kung fu spots here. Things kind of slow down, and it's a
Mortal Kombat.
1970s kung fu movie for a little bit.
Yeah.
So Amasis' crew is not faring so well here. So Amasis got to do it himself, and so he's in the ring now. It's down to him against Still Life with Apricots and Pears and Kaya McKenna, who I believe she's been doing some stuff locally. I think she was in Atomic, I want to say. So Atomic is very much a destination place for women's wrestling in the area.
She's been doing a lot in Jersey too. Jersey's been doing the Titan Federation, and they're doing they've been doing like all women shows, and she's been her, Adina, and Christina Marie, which are 3 superstar female talent in the area, on this coast, I guess you would say. So yeah, she's been doing a lot of work there with Titan. Very, very talented.
And so she gives Amasis a taste of his own medicine, because we know he has done some very illegal things, maybe the most illegal things in the history of wrestling. But she summons her own powers to expel Amasis. She kind of takes control of him and forces him to eliminate himself and saves us from the monsters.
One more quick plug here. Actually, if you check Adina, and I definitely know Kaya was on there, the Bob Culture podcast. They had interviews with him recently. So if you head over to the Bob Culture podcast and you want to check out and learn more about her and hear more of her backstory, that you can check it out there.
Oh, Alex is saying it may have been an Outbreak taping. He's not sure, but it might have been an Outbreak that Kaya was involved.
So when I first seen her was at Outbreak. She was part of the oh my god, what were they called now? The Sickened, what's his name? Sickened team. Shit.
The Sickness, isn't it?
No, it's
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, she was there. She was with their crew, for a minute there. I have to pull it up now. I completely forgot the name of that stable.
By the way, speaking of plugs, Outbreak's been doing their quarantine series, and they had a supersized episode that just released yesterday, the Contagion Cup tournament.
Oh.
And that just released on YouTube yesterday. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but 14 person tournament, and it's over
Afflicted,
90-minute long episode.
The Afflicted, yes. Thank you so much. That's exactly what it is. You saved me. I was actually on Instagram right now looking up.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you go to YouTube, just search Outbreak Wrestling, and they have a supersized episode that came out just yesterday that you can check out.
Yeah, you can see our boy Andy will probably be on that as well.
And then so we've saved Camp Leapfrog. Kaya McKenna has saved Camp Leapfrog, but we're not out of the woods just yet, because there's still a guy around that opened the portal to hell. So there's some things that some people still need to pay. And Brad Rush, camp director Brad Rush, the owner of Camp Leapfrog, he's going to be the one to do it. And so we have a one final match here, Killian McMurphy against Brad Rush.
So I kind of got in the same thing as before, right? So obviously I bought into the movie aspect of it, right? So you're like, oh, some are characters and some are wrestlers. And my dumb head's like, all professional. They're all wrestlers. You know what I mean? They're all. So the whole time, like just like in the last one with Eddie, I was like, oh, there's no way he's an actual wrestler. He's just there
Yeah,
because he's an actor, and he had
right.
his match, and it was amazing. He had a great match. It was a good match. Same here. Holy shit, this guy can move. He's good in the
Yeah,
ring.
Tony, I got news for you. Deshaun is not really an Egyptian pharaoh.
Shit. All right.
He's a man.
Damn it.
He's a man that was born, I'm gonna guess, sometime in the 20th century.
I was immersed in the story, you know. I thought the camp counselor was legit a camp counselor, and there was no way he was going to be talented in the ring. And he got in there and he had a match, and I absolutely loved it. It was a good
Yeah,
match. Yeah,
yeah, very good. And obviously Killian is one of the best in the area,
yeah.
and he's getting some help here. Killian's goons helped him a little bit. Big Dust and Miles
Well,
Millennium came in, and
he's
it's
amazing too. You have to see him go. Miles,
yeah.
he's unbelievable. He's really good. But one of the spots here that really hurt me watching was that power bomb over the hay bale.
Oh yeah,
That looked like it sucked. Me actually, Header was watching it with me before because he came in like towards the end there, and that spot
mhm,
happened, and he went, "Holy shit!" Like, there's no give there. That sucked. I was like, and then he
yeah.
hit his head real hard on the ground. I was like, Jesus Christ, that
Not
was
ballet.
yeah, that was rough. I think that was besides getting hit square in the face with a gourd, that would
Hmm.
that power bomb in the hay bale looked like it was not
Well,
fun.
and also getting shot with an arrow
Yeah.
for
Oh,
poor Kitchen Girl.
I think
That
I'd
might be the
rather.
worst part.
I think I'd rather get shot with the arrow than get power bombed in a hay bale.
Well, he was a zombie, so maybe he didn't feel anything at the
Yeah,
time.
that's true. That's very true.
So it's 3-on-1 now. Miles and Big Dust and Killing are all beating up Brad Rush. So he needs help. This is an emergency. And what do you do when there's an emergency? Who do you call?
You call
Get
911.
that yeah. And who showed up? Get that picture ready.
911 showed up.
You could have given me 100 guesses as to who might be because you would kind of tip me off, like you didn't spoil, but like, yeah, there's gonna be a surprise here. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Well, I was told there was two
Um,
surprises. So we got the frog, and I was like, well, that's one surprise. And then I'm like, there's another one coming. I don't know who it is. And yeah,
I thought when you said that Warhorse, I'm like, okay, that's cool. They got Warhorse. That's
yeah.
awesome. But no, 911. The man who really, it's an amazing thing that for a guy that didn't really wrestle much, he really did change wrestling because not many people were doing choke slams before 911 became one of the most over guys in ECW just by coming out and choke slamming people.
Yeah, Andy said he came out and he goes, everyone's getting choke slammed right now. That's the first thing Header said. Everyone's getting choke slammed.
I mean, 911 isn't the youngest guy now. Obviously, the ECW stuff was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
So you're not going to expect them to come in and move around like Killian or Deshaun or one of these guys. But even back in the day, he didn't have what we call the most elaborate moveset.
Yeah.
And it was mainly the choke slam.
It's like Novocaine.
I actually
just enough of it and it'll work.
And it's funny because we were talking about what we're going to be doing for the next couple of normal Thursday podcasts, and we're going to be watching some old traditional November shows. I think this week we're doing 1990 Survivor Series, which was, I think at that point it was on Thanksgiving Eve.
Yep.
The first few were Thanksgiving night, and then it went to Thanksgiving Eve. Then it just went to some Sunday in November. So one of the other ones we're going to be doing is the 1995 ECW November to Remember, a classic ECW show, and 911 is very prominently involved in that.
Well, it'll be our second time we've done an ECW show on the show.
Yeah, we did Heatwave 2000.
I thought we did 93. Was it? I forget.
No, it was Heatwave 2000. 93. Oh, 93 ECW. There's some weird stuff there.
Yeah.
It's when they had the body count match.
But yeah, man, Warhorse and 911, two big gets for Camp LEAPFROG. They were,
Absolutely,
it's cool to see them there.
Definitely, and 911 takes out the help, and he also takes the tape. I think the legend here is that 911 was the wrestler that died hundreds of years ago on this tape, but he's back, and he claimed the tape and disappeared with it. And so now it's 1-on-1. It's just Brad and Killian. 911 has made it a fair fight. But Killian McMurphy is still a force to be reckoned with, and he gets the win. He gets the win over Brad Rush. but the last laugh is with the campers. They TP him. It's not a Halloween party with unless people getting or somebody's getting toilet papered. So not only is killing in toilet paper, but the high tension wrestling ring also gets the mischief night treatment here.
Yeah. So what we said before, a lot of babyface wins, and tonight the heel takes over and wins steals the show.
Yeah.
And no better person
Oh,
to do it than the shooter.
yeah. Even if he's opening portals to hell. And then some of the fun stuff here. When you're watching Camp Leapfrog,
Stick
you
around.
don't sit through the credits because you're gonna get some fun stuff, and you certainly did here. Oh, by the way, one thing we should have mentioned, the ring announcer was Brother Love for the whole time.
Brother Love was the ring announcer. He sure was. Kimchi was there.
Brothers and sisters.
Kimchi
Yeah,
was there again.
Kimchi was there, yeah. Kimchi was around the campfire when Killian opened the portal to hell, as a matter of fact.
He was.
But yeah, Brother Love was your ring announcer here, and
I may be teaming up with Kimchi soon.
Oh, nice.
I'll give a little spoiler because I'm going to be doing this right after we get done. But I do have a mask to accompany Kimchi. I just got it at my pro wrestling loot. I got a Kamala mask.
Oh yeah, that's right. Now, if you're going to be wearing that, you have to get a shirt and just paint like stars and a moon on it too.
Yep, absolutely.
There you go.
There it is. Yeah, it's a little bit delayed. Brian's just seeing it now.
I only did the pro wrestling crate thing for a little bit, and I have a Kamala micro brawler.
Yeah. Oh my God! Wait, the shirt that's in this this pro wrestling crate that I got this month was really really good. So actually, after we wrap here, I'm gonna quick eat because so if you guys want to see another show after this, if it's your first time and you're hanging out, we will be doing a Banging Beers podcast at 4:00. If you want to come over, check out Banging Beers podcast on the IWEP network. We do a bunch of cool shows up there, so it's up there in the corner, IWEP network. But yeah, so we're doing a Banging Beers, and we're gonna have some beers. And before that, I'm gonna try to do some unboxings. I have 2 unboxings to do for Pro Wrestling Crate, well, 2 wrestling crates to unbox, and then I have our first sip brew box. It's like a beer themed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
But that's not all, because there are some post-credit things here. First, we have 911 and Warhorse riding off together.
Yeah. Thank you, real quick. Thank you, Alex. He tagged Chris Levine, which was the brainchild behind Camp Leapfrog.
Yep. The senior official, Chris Levine, senior official for IWTV as well.
Got to get him on the show soon. Got to have him on soon. But yeah, thank you, Alex.
Yeah, him and Sam very much, and Alex and Maestro as well. The creative forces behind all this.
I just literally had a brain fart. I also said Miss Elizabeth, but she was a big part of it as well too, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sam in the credits is credit there too. But
yeah, Sam, thanks for that.
Yeah, Sam will turn it. Not Miss Elizabeth.
I believe Sam also has her own podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Wrestle Tea. I think Wrestle Tea with Sam Turner, I believe, is what it is.
Yeah. So go. I don't have it linked. I should definitely do that. I will definitely get that linked in there, and definitely go check out her stuff. She's fantastic.
Although maybe Miss Elizabeth was one of the zombies that came through the portal. You don't know.
That's very true.
Maybe she was there. But we also had poor guy couldn't get a ride home. Crawdad was his ride.
Yeah. So I don't even know how he got out of camp
he's
there.
Dead.
Crawdad's officially dead, guys. So if you have any Crawdad merchandise, hang on to it because he's
dead.
It's gone. The Crawdaddy's no more. Sad day.
And then
rest in peace.
Thankfully, even though he was possessed for a time, Deshaun Pratt is not dead, but he didn't remember anything. He looked very much hungover. And he looks in his hand. He has the Amasis hood, and he's like, I haven't seen this in years.
And then we had another Wayne's World style skit with Warhorse and 911 in the car.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah, rocking out on the way home. Fun show, man. I loved it.
Very fun.
Had a blast with it. I want more Camp Leapfrog, and we are getting a 3rd installment.
Yeah. I believe it's called, I might get the exact verbiage wrong, Leapfrog Live Sam Laterna's Slumber Party.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you're into this Camp Leapfrog, I think you said it the best. If you are someone who is a fan of Chikara and you want that it scratched, unfortunately, Chikara is no longer a thing. But Camp Leapfrog is here, and I don't think it's going anywhere. And it's a great way to introduce high tension wrestling when they start up, and we get the COVID's over. We can go to some high tension wrestling shows, which you will definitely see us at. Um, the Yeah, this is Camp Leapfrog is a fantastic thing, and not only is Camp Leapfrog there, but there is tons and tons of great content where you can see people who are now superstars every Monday, Fridays, Wednesdays, Tuesdays, all on TV. A lot of those guys got their starts the exact same way, and they are featured on IWTV. I know there's a Kevin Steen highlight
Mhm.
reel on there. A lot of really good stuff on that network, and it is a for us, I like to support local and I love supporting Pennsylvania. It's pretty much IWTV's created is a
Mhm.
Pennsylvania production. So definitely go subscribe. Let them know we sent you. I don't know how you're gonna do that, but just go over and do it, and go
Yeah,
watch Camp
and
Leapfrog Part 1 and 2.
yeah, there's just so much, and there's so much other stuff too, like you're saying. And if you want to just check out Camp Leapfrog, I think it still works. If it's worth a try, you can do promo code Leapfrog and get a free trial going on. And just to kind of highlight, just went on their page right now, just some stuff that's coming up. They have a very creative series called The Masked Wrestler,
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
which if you've ever seen The Masked Singer, it's basically the same thing where these wrestlers are all in like black bodysuits with different colored masks, and they wrestle one another. And the loser of the match, they do one match a week. The loser has to unmask, and I believe the winner of that is going to wind up getting a shot against the against Warhorse. I think that might be the prize for it. And then just beyond that, I just looking for the next couple of days here, they're going to have, or they had an H2O wrestling show that had Matt Tremont, who is a deathmatch guy who's kind of wrapping things up now. His final match against Ricky Shane Page, who is the GCW champion, one of the biggest heels in the indie circuit right now. You also have something coming up on Friday. This coming Friday, I'm going to check this out. It's Paradigm Pro Wrestling that does very much like a almost like a blood sport style thing where it's very realistic, very authentic based, and it doesn't get any more authentic than this. UWFI rules, and UWFI was a shoot style promotion in Japan. Their main event is going to be Tom Lawler, UFC veteran, against fellow UFC veteran Stephan Bonner.
Wow.
Stephan Bonner against Tom Lawler in a UWFI rules match.
Stephan Bonner, the guy who put mixed martial arts on the map, him and Forrest Griffin on the Ultimate
Yep.
Fighter Season 1 finale.
Absolutely.
Go out there
Alex
and
confirmed it too. If you use promo code Leapfrog, 5 free days,
yeah,
to go to independentwrestling.tv.
yeah, Stephan Bonner and Forrest Griffin go out there and beat the hell out of each other and pretty much launch the UFC onto public television and give it. We're still watching it today because of that fight. So that's really cool. He's going to be doing a blood sport. That's awesome.
And again, you were talking about like Camp Leapfrog is a Pennsylvania production. So is IWTV,
Yeah,
locally owned and operated, and just so much stuff, an abundance of riches
yeah.
on
And
independentwrestling.tv.
it's like $10. It's like $10 a month.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's fantastic. Definitely go check it out.
$10 a month and more live exclusive first run content than the WWE Network.
Very true. Very, very true. And
You get like the old stuff's wonderful there, but you're getting one pay-per-view a month.
Yep.
NXT's not even exclusive to it anymore. NXT UK, you're getting that too, but
yeah,
you're getting everything on IWTV.
And they do have a merch page. You can go grab Camp Leapfrog t-shirts. You can get IWTV merchandise and t-shirts. I believe there's other promotions on there. You can buy their stuff straight through them. It's fantastic. Brian, anything to plug?
As always, murder my dude. We have, I think, it's not 100%, but I think we're doing special this week for Election Day. I think we're going to be releasing on Tuesday instead of the usual Thursday at midnight. And it's going to be about the two lesser-known presidents of the United States who were assassinated, James Garfield and William McKinley.
Yeah, so that's a true crime podcast ran by Brian and his friend Jack, Jackson Wells. So it's a fantastic podcast. Go check that out. If you want to see
true crime with a very comedic bent and the occasional wild political rant.
Yeah, you can check out
that might happen on Election Day.
Yeah, you can check out me and Annie Hedder tomorrow night, Monday night at 9:00 on Truth Behind Illusion. It's like a supernatural, style podcast. We're gonna be talking about the Ouija board. So it's kind of like we're doing the history of the Ouija board.
Should have Killian on.
We should. The Ouija board started off Camp Leapfrog, and that's going to be our topic this week.
Don't open a portal to hell, whatever you do.
We're gonna try to.
We have Andy there.
Yeah.
And And maybe just if they see the picture of 911, that might scare them
Yeah,
off.
we're gonna keep it standby just to make sure anything gets out of hand. We'll be like, we'll just call this guy and we'll settle this shit right out. But we're gonna try to summon a special guest for that episode, Captain Howdy. I heard
Oh,
he's
okay.
yeah. If you could summon him, it'll be a really cool episode then. So we're gonna give that a shot. And yeah, and that's all I got. Make sure, like I said, go check out the links below. Support everything pro wrestling. If you want, I mean, and check out the community page, man. Let's try to make that grow and talk pro wrestling. We have a great time doing it. That'll do it here for Tornado Tech Podcast number 85, Camp LEAPFROG. We'll see you guys next time. Here's some no rain checks to get us out of here.